Let's Science is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
3, 2, 1.
We live in a universe of scientific wonders.
Every day, scientists are inching towards breakthroughs which can change our lives.
We're playing our small part in sharing these wonders with you.
That's why today is a fine day for science.
So let's science.
Lino, this topic is one that's very close to my heart and probably indirectly close to your heart because we're both pet lovers. Yep. And would you believe... Sometimes they say bad things happen in threes, but I actually think this time it's a good thing. We are joined by the CEO of StarQuest, Dom Bettinelli. Dom, welcome back to talk about science with us.
Third time is the charm.
Amazing. So now I wanted to start with a question for both of you. What is your experience with owning pets? Do you own pets or have you owned pets? Dom, do you want to go first?
Unfortunately, we can't have any pets or pets with hair or fur for allergies in my household. But as a kid, we had both cats and dogs. We had a dog until my brother's asthma made us give it away, and I've never forgiven my brother for it. No, I have. We actually were able to give her to the neighbors next door, that meant we could still play with Trixie. She was a great dog. And then we also had cats. The cats were okay. And I had a cat, Misty, who adopted me and thought I was her kitten, apparently, because she would sleep in my bed and lick my head, sit on my head while I slept and lick my head. I love it. Yeah. I love pets. I wish I could have a dog. I really do. I think dogs are amazing.
Yeah, wonderful. Lena, how about yourself?
At the moment, we have 2 cats, and we've had them for about almost 10 years. I can't remember now. 14? Sorry, I have my wife next to me. He's
just getting fact checked by his wife. Everyone, yeah.
How long have you been married, Lino? Come on, say that one.
17. I remember that. I have to remind myself and everything. Sorry about this, guys. This is a science topic, not a marriage.
This one's only being broadcast. It's only being broadcast to the whole world. Don't worry. Yeah, you're okay.
I had 2 cats. We have 2 cats now. We've had 2 more. 2 others before I got married with my mum and dad. Beautiful. Actually, no. When my brother had a relationship, we had another one. So that's 4 we had in mum and dad's place, and now we have 2. So majority of our family love cats. I absolutely love dogs as well. The sad thing is we can't have dogs in this house because it's too small. Even though we have a small cat, a small dog, we'll just go everywhere. We'll go everywhere. And we'll totally energy. Pets, Dom and Lindsay, are so special to us. I think I've talked about this on another previous podcast. It's like pets, what kind of pet it is, dogs, cats, I'm going to say it, spiders, however you want to have a pet.
For some people,
Caroline. Caroline.
Yeah.
They are considered family in a sense that, these are God's creatures, and their love for us and for them is a special bond. And it's so special. And I've heard about it. It gives mental health a boost in people, and I've read about it and seen about it, and it makes me so emotional in a sense, and especially for the elderly, the people who are lonely. And it's so good. It is so good. Yeah, having a special thing.
Yeah, they're great companions, pets.
Yeah.
I grew up with we joked about living on a farm. We didn't. We lived in a house, but so through our time, and Caroline can attest to this. Through our time growing up, we've had I don't know how many different cats over the time. Have come and gone. Yeah. Dogs we've had as well. We had a duck at one point. Fish. Yeah, we had a duck at one stage. We've had fish. We had a cockatoo, and we talked about this with Caroline in the Dancing Cockatoos science segment. We had a cockatoo called Freddie, who just came to our house and stayed with us. And I think he must have been domesticated. I don't know if he had escaped, but we couldn't find the owner. So he lived with us for another 5 or 6 years before he passed. But he was our friendly cockatoo who used to bite my toes. We had an eel at one stage. At one point, we had a turtle which escaped very, very quickly. They're very crafty turtles, so it escaped one day. Yeah, so we've been through a variety of animals. I said to Isabel when we got married, before we got married, please no more pets. I can't. I just can't, right? And I was the staunchest one that said no pets, no pets, no pets. Then Caroline got a dog. Like, this was a couple of years ago. She got Astro, her pug. And I was just enjoying Astro's company. And Isabel and I independently of each other started Googling dogs, like dog breeds and so on. And so it turned out we both wanted to get a dog, and it shocked my family because they were like, Lindsay, are you serious? So we ended up getting Luna, who's our little, Shih Tzu cross terrier. And she has become, and my family's shocked by this, but she's become my dog daughter. Right, there's she's become part of the family. And yeah, Dom, she sleeps on the bed. She, the whole lot. She's just become part of the family. So she's our third child. There's been some science and study, and it's been a big study into the dog aging project with the aim of seeing if you could extend the lifespan of dogs. And if this works, could this then be applied to humans as well? Could you use similar methods to extend the lifespan of humans? So, from an article from Science Focus, they talk about the Dog Aging Project, and this is a project. It's basically a website that you can log into right now if you want to, and people have registered their dogs and input all kinds of information and data for this website. So they've studied 50,000 dogs so far. In the quest to create anti-aging, products and drugs for dogs, they believe that it could be less than a decade away. It's always a decade away with these things. Medicine's on. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Before they crack the code of dog longevity. So if this works, as I said, this could then lead to further studies, probably 2 or 3 decades away. Yeah, that could lead to extending human lifespans as well. So the first thing that it talks about is the idea that we've got different dog breeds, and this affects how they age differently. So the article says a lot of us think of the aging process as an inevitable side effect of being alive. As we get older, both people and dogs go grey, they get slower, and they eventually succumb to different diseases such as arthritis and cancer, which is just part of the aging process as well. But now we know that many of the diseases that come with growing older are caused by common biological processes. So some scientists believe a single pill, sounds like a miracle drug, could be developed that targets the underlying biology of aging, which could keep many or all of these diseases at bay. So this is where dogs come in. Thanks to the enormous diversity of dog breeds, and the fact that they age differently to us, so you can study their lifespan from start to end, several times within a human being's lifetime, they think it could reveal a lot about the aging process. Dog DNA is similar enough that dogs from different breeds, they can mate and interbreed and give birth to, varieties of puppies, such as, the good old Labradoodle, which is very popular here. Yep. The Puggle, which is a Puggle across the Beagle. And there are all kinds of...
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird and wonderful combinations of dogs. Yeah. Although the genetic differences are few, the variety of dogs are huge in how they look and how they behave and so on. So, and how long they live. So, for example, some breeds, such as the Presa Canario, which is a type of Spanish Mastiff, only lives for about 7.5 years. Whereas smaller dogs like the miniature Dutch Hound and other ones like that can be twice as long, live to the 13, 14, even 15 years. But surely it says here, as you might be thinking, aren't the differences in lifespans all down to the breed size? Yes, it is a factor. Dog lovers are sadly aware that larger dogs tend to live shorter lives. A US study of almost 10 million dogs found that giant breeds live for an average of 9.5 years, while smaller breeds about 13.5. So that's over 40% more time chasing sticks and barking at postal workers. This is the article than the biggest dog. It's such a cliche, isn't it? Yeah. Although my dog Luna, she's very affectionate, but she's also a troll. She will climb on the couch. She'll climb on the headrest of the couch. and she'll sleep. But what she's doing is she's looking out the window waiting for someone to go by so she can bark. She's just waiting for someone to bark. So she's like your classic troll under the bridge, but she's the troll on the couch. Yeah. So the dog aging project then. If just a few genes can shape how long an animal lives, then could something as simple as a pill do the same? It says here dogs are great for testing this theory because, as we mentioned, they get similar diseases to what humans get. And secondly, dogs are almost unique in how closely they share a human's environment as opposed to other animals. So unlike lab mice who live in sterile climate-controlled cages, our pets breathe the same air that we do. Excuse me. They drink the same water that we drink. And they often share our daily routines, such as when we wake up, when we go to sleep, when we go for walks and exercise and so on. And not to mention, if they're lucky, they share our snacks and even our beds.
All
so,
snacks.
Thanks to, all of that. Yeah. I mean, we look, dogs will beg. They'll look at you and they'll beg and they'll do the eyes. And you're like,
those eyes.
All right. Yeah. Or the puppy eyes. You can have one. Here you go. Come on. Then it's 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
Yeah, my dog behaves like the next piece of food I give her is the last piece of food she'll ever get. That's basically how she lives. Yeah. So thanks to thousands of years of domestication, dogs have gut bacteria that is similar to ours and those of mice or pigs. So while it's sad that dogs do have shorter lifespans than us, it is an advantage for longevity experiments. So Professor Daniel Promislow and Matt Kabelin, I hope I said that right, they launched this dog aging project, which is this website I talked about, in 2014. Professor Kabelin says, I think what really got me excited was realizing that we could not only understand the biology of aging in dogs, but also apply these interventions that have been already been shown to slow aging, extended lifespan, and improve health span in mice. Almost certainly, some of them will work similarly in dogs. He said, I'm a dog person, which is, by the way, guys, good if you're doing experimenting with dogs, right? Yeah.
You should like dogs.
Yeah. You should like dogs. Yeah. I've always had dogs. Obviously, I've wanted that for my dogs. I want that for everyone's dogs too. So a big part of the dog aging project is what is called a longitudinal study, which is a long study, which basically means researchers track some dogs over time to understand how they age. So they have a website which has a detailed questionnaire which has been responded to by over 50,000 participants, and the team is already uncovering some fascinating insights into what helps dogs stay healthier for longer. So here's a surprising one: intermittent fasting, but for dogs. One of the early
Tell
findings.
Jimmy Aiken.
Yeah, I was going to say he's talked about this. Yeah, there was a Mysterious World episode, and so am I right, Dom? He's a big believer in intermittent fasting, isn't he? Yeah,
intermittent fasting is a way of life for him, and he a big belief in it as for its health effects. So it's interesting to see it for dogs.
Cool.
And is he a one meal a day? Is that what he mentioned?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he eats one meal between like within a couple hour range in the evening a day. That's what he does.
There's an earlier Mysterious World episode all about this where he goes through it. So
around number 69 or 70 or something like that off the top of my head.
Somewhere around there. Yep.
Yeah.
So dog intermittent fasting can influence how long they live. So it turns out, according to the article, that dogs fed once a day are at lower risk of developing severe age-related conditions. It was completely not what the professor expected. He said, I've never been a big believer in time-restricted eating as a longevity intervention. However, because this is an observational study, it's hard to untangle this, cause and effect here. But maybe less frequent feeding leads to better health. Or maybe dogs in poorer health are simply fed more often, perhaps to take medication. So there's all these other variables to look at. Yeah. But Professor Chamberlain says it's still a really interesting observation that seeds a whole bunch of potential studies in the future. So does this mean you should shun breakfast and lunch in favor of one supersized supper? Now, look, the article here says perhaps not. Jimmy Aiken says perhaps you should. So I'm going to leave it to...
Who are you going to believe?
Yeah, who are you going to believe? Exactly right.
Some professor somewhere or Jimmy Aiken?
Yeah. Are you going to believe a website or are you going to believe a human encyclopedia? I'm just saying, all right? So,
he is a time lord. So
he is a time lord, exactly right. So he's seen a lot more than these guys have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, So, the Dog Aging Project thinks that these findings are worth looking into because it's possible that intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day for your dog, might help it live longer. Having said that, I have to say, please, whatever you do with your dog, all right, just be careful, all right, because I don't want you to harm your dog using him as a science experiment. So I'm going to put that out there as well.
Right.
Yeah. We feed. So my dog, we have a bowl of dry food, and we just leave it out all day. So sometimes they say you should feed your dog, have a routine. So, but we just leave a bowl of dry food for her, and she'll just grazes at that whenever she wants to, when she feels hungry, and then she gets a packet of wet food every night. So that's the one consistent thing she does have, as well as the scraps that she begs for, at dinner time and so on. Yeah.
Whatever happens to fall from the table.
Whatever. Yeah, just whoops, there it goes. Yeah.
By accident,
one time I was
inverted commas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I've got to say, one time I was eating some chicken and a piece of chicken fell off my fork, and I went to sort of like grab it from the floor. It was like a tornado ran under the table. She ran so fast and it was gone. It was gone. She was so quick. Yeah. So, could we have a pill to mimic the benefits of fasting then? So this is what it could lead to, and maybe give these kinds of benefits to humans with no extreme diets required. So there is a drug that may do this already. It's called rapamycin. I hope I said that properly. But it was discovered in bacteria from a soil sample collected on Easter Island in the South Pacific. Rapamycin is a molecule that prompts cells to perform a kind of spring cleaning, which clears out old components and replaces them with new ones. This reminds me of, I don't know, Dom, if I'm deep cut, but that Deep Space Nine episode where there's that guy who thinks if you make your cells happy, you'll live longer. It was a
wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you remember it, but that just popped into my head for some reason. Yeah. There'll be a Secrets of Star Trek on it one day. So
yes, eventually.
Yeah, eventually you get to that one. It's a later one. So this process is called autophagy. It is triggered by fasting and has been linked to increased longevity in a wider range of organisms. Scientists have used rapamycin to slow aging in species as varied as yeast, worms, flies, mice, and even tiny primates, which are known as marmosets. So the marmosets. Dogs could be next. So the goal of Triad, which is the test of rapamycin in aging dogs. By the way, it sounds like an evil corporation, but that's a whole thing altogether. Yeah. But the goal of Triad is to have a clinical trial from the Dog Aging Project aiming to begin in 2026. So the plan is to enroll 580 dogs, treat them with rapamycin for a year, and then monitor them for another 2 years to assess the side effect of the drug on dogs in the long term of their lives. So two smaller, shorter studies have already made sure that it's safe for dogs to take it. They're on their health and their heart health and so on. So they've done the ethical side of it as well.
So
So Professor Chamberlain says, I think it's better than a 50-50 proposition that rapamycin increases the lifespan, improves the health of dogs. So that's his hypothesis now. So whether we have the right dose and whether the duration of our clinical trial is enough to show the effect, that's a different question. But it wouldn't shock me if in larger dogs you could get a 20+% increase in their healthy lifespan. So with rapamycin already showing promise in humans, so the drug was recently ranked by scientists among the top 5 drugs most likely to extend a healthy lifespan, it's easy to see why he's so optimistic. So I'm going to leave it there because this article is quite long and there's a lot. And I'll put the link in the show notes, but I want to leave it with this idea that now there's a trial, and hopefully in a few years' time, our science show will have a look in 3 years, or if there's a progress update, and we'll see how that's all going. So, from an ethical perspective, guys, let's just talk about this. If we could extend the life of dogs and also humans with a drug, Dom, what do you think? Should we do it?
I think that's not even a question that we should. I mean, we already do that. We extend lives with all kinds of medical treatments and that sort of thing. And it's not that. I think the big question is are we artificially extending it to is there a quality of life in the sense of are we I don't want to cross the line and say, oh, quality of life is what's most important, because
of course.
True. But there's a the bottom line is if you can extend life, we're not talking about immortality. This is no one's saying that this pill will make you live forever, but if you can extend life to 100 years, 200 years, I mean, you can question whether the Bible's dates for the age of Methuselah are literal or figurative, but nevertheless, the Bible talks about people living for longer periods of time. In the ancient history, I don't think there's anything unethical or immoral about helping people live longer lives, especially if there's a good quality of life that you can be had. You're not just you're old for 40 years, like you're decrepit and old. That would kind of suck. But and as for dogs, I think it's even less of a question. I think why not? I'd love that idea.
If my little dog could live for 20 years, plus, I'd be very happy with that too. I think we'd all be happy about that. Yeah, Lino, if you could take a pill to extend your life, would you do it? Would Bernadette let you do it?
Well, if I have to take it, she'll have to take it, and then the whole family will have to take it. Yeah, Dom. Yeah, that's a good point you made. The ethical side of extending life and everything. I think as long as it's helping the person within. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Definitely. We all in the I'm sorry, but everyone is in the science field are trying to find cures against diseases, cancer, any sort of cancer, anything that's happening to stop it, so we can live a bit longer life. And why not with dogs? That's like I said, dogs are a family, and do that. Why not? Why not? Why don't you try that? And all of us have our ailments. And everything. Try to find a cure for that and do that. Yeah, and to live longer. Yeah. And it's a way of, and it's the quality of life, not the way of life. Yeah, we can go down the other side. But I don't. Right. This is not that kind of podcast, guys. All right, we're just talking about the positive side of the life. In extending the life of whoever we know and we love. In the sense,
Humanity has extended our lifespans already with other things. Correct. For example, as hygiene got better and sanitation, and as we learnt more about the effects of food on our bodies, and as we learnt about the benefits of exercise and moderation and all these different things, that has helped. And and then there are drugs that people take that already stave off conditions that keep them alive. And we even have technology, like, for example, we have pacemakers, for example, that mean a person is going to live longer, and these different kinds of things. So maybe a drug isn't such a bad thing. I guess, that obviously once the science says, hey, we can do this, there's also going to be the psychological sociology, kinds of questions and things to have a look at as well, as we go forward, and that includes the Catholic perspective as well. So I'm sure there are going to be a lot of bioethicists in the Catholic Church who are going to be examining this question as well.
Let's Science is brought to you by StarQuest Media and is a fortnightly podcast that brings you the scientific wonders of our universe from a distinctly Catholic point of view. For more from Caroline, Lindsay, and friends, listen to the StarQuest show, Catholics of Oz. Find links from today's show at sqpn.com/science. And find the Catholics of Oz at sqpn.com/Oz. Be sure to follow the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you can find podcasts, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. The generous donations of our patrons at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue Let's Science and all the shows at StarQuest, which makes our nonprofit mission possible. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Join us next time for more scientific wonders, and thank you for listening to Let's Science on StarQuest. Here's another show on the StarQuest network you're sure to enjoy, The Secrets of Star Trek. Find it wherever fine podcasts are found or at sqpn.com/Star Trek.